Let's just whatever. Let's just go. Let's get into Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so we saw one of the most anticipated movies of all time and the biggest movie of the decade.
Well, biggest movie opening of all time.
If you say Avengers Endgame to someone and they don't know what you're talking about, then like execute on sight. I'm kidding.
They're living under.
I'm kidding. Don't actually get inspiration for me to kill anybody.
Many rocks, like all the way to the Earth's core. That's where they're living.
Basically, in this movie, I can't say what happens, but the summary is the superheroes get together to try to undo Thanos' actions, and that's all I'm going to tell you because we really don't want this to be spoiled for anybody who hasn't seen it.
Directed by the Russos.
Yeah, we gotta do this review without spoiling anything.
Because you know what,
and we won't spoil anything. Trust me.
Yeah.
You're safe with us, but I know it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, dude, I've almost slipped so many times, and I was talking to you yesterday because I saw the movie before you, and I was talking to you about it. I almost said something. And I was like, whoa, if I had said that, like, I would have one less friend. No, like, legitimately. Yeah, like, there's this TV spot where Robert Downey Jr. says, you have no idea what's gonna happen? No, you don't even know. You don't even know. And it's not just the moments, the big moments you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
The entire thing! Like, it's... What?
I mean, it's mostly just, like, big parts. You can guess like a few things that happen in the movie, but it's just like the really big moments you don't know what's gonna happen. And I mean, I guess we're just delving into this right here. Now, I don't like overhyping things, but this movie was fantastic, almost too good. I have no idea how they pulled this off. It surpassed expectations because this movie truly gave me everything I wanted.
Yeah, if it gives you a sense of euphoria in the theater, you know, like, if like, you know, that thing where you're like, I'm actually watching this, like, this is happening. When you acknowledge that, you know it's a movie, like, that's just beyond the quality that, I don't know, I could have ever expected to see in this franchise.
But it's also everything I wanted in a conclusion to a series of films that has lasted this long. I teared up a couple times, like a lot of people, but it wasn't even just because of sad or joyful moments. I also did because of what I was seeing, what was accomplished. This movie, it kind of made history, and everyone should watch it. If you haven't, and you're an MCU fan, what are you doing? And if you're not caught up, what are you doing? If you're a film lover, you have to experience this journey. It's incredible. Oh my god. It's 3-hour runtime, goes by in a snap, no pun intended. It improves on so many things that the MCU has brought on to us in the past. A major example of this is the acting. Some characters in this movie are just so great in this movie, namely like a couple characters that were pushed in the background early in the MCU. Nebula, Hawkeye, Black Widow, 3 standouts that weren't really as, you know, fleshed out earlier in the MCU.
Yeah, even they were War Machine.
They were so important in this movie. They were really likable and they had a lot to do. And it really, really makes you feel like, okay, this is the conclusion we need because it's all the characters, it's moments, they have their time to shine. I don't want to give away anything, but they do it better than they could have ever done it. And the Russo brothers are almost too intelligent. Like, how can two human beings be that intelligent?
They have an unreal respect for this. Like it's like they just devoted their entire lives to this, and then this is what we got. I think describing this movie to someone who doesn't really know much about it, I think I'm always gonna be like, There's my best explanation for why.
Yeah,
no,
just
seriously. I don't know if I don't like this movie better than Infinity War. I think those two are kind of tied. Like, I think it's one. If you really want to look at it, Infinity War and this movie are one huge big space opera. That if you watch it like for 5 hours, it's just, it'll like shred your mind apart. But I think I can't pick. I really can't, because there's so many things that it's like scales. You could just think of moments like that.
Yeah, we have kind of different opinions on that. I think this is better than Infinity War. But, you know, it just goes to show how close these movies can be because, you know, there's so many memorable and super entertaining and super important moments in the MCU that just makes it hard to pick between things. I think this is my second favorite MCU film, just slightly under Civil War.
Yeah, pretty much same here, yeah.
I just think that this movie almost does way too much because it's like, I really, really, really wanted to see what they could do with this movie, and in a way, they did even more than that.
Yeah, and it's not even huge moments that have paid off. Like, throughout the entirety of the MCU, moments that have been referenced so many times, they happen here. It's not even just those moments, like super small moments that I didn't even know I wanted.
It's almost too good to comprehend how they translated like this to a movie, because it's almost like you expect this stuff to only be in comic books, but then you see it on screen and you're like, this is too good.
You need to be specific with me later because I'm having a hard time.
Okay, well, it's the third act. The third act especially, I teared up just because of what happens, what they were able to accomplish. I was like, this is too good. And I teared up a bit because it's like, I don't know how the hell they made this. It looked so good. It was so well acted.
The visual effects.
The visual effects were fantastic. It has a great superhero third act that I won't spoil.
Yeah, I mean, you know, saying this movie is a culmination of everything that's happened, it absolutely is. In the most
understatement.
Yeah, in the most unexpected way possible, but in probably the best way possible. It's just there was a moment where I face palmed and went like this for a couple seconds because I had no idea what they were gonna do, and everybody's gonna be like, oh my god. And fan service, you can complain about fan service, just saying like that's just easy to please fans or whatever, but in this movie they make fan service push the story forward. They make fan service work, and they make it like impactful. So it's not just something cool on screen because, you know, maybe the audience is falling asleep. No.
No.
It matters.
No, but the thing is, I don't even understand why fan service is such a huge problem in movies for people these days. I understand that sometimes it can just be, stuff can just be there that's useless other than just to make the audience happy. But this weaves into the story so well that it's like no one can guess what's going to happen, truly. Unless, I mean, you know, just like flip a coin, people can guess. But you know what I mean? It's so hard to guess what happens in this movie. It's so clever, and it ties everything. It ties up so many loose ends that it's just so satisfying by the end. It's a great conclusion, and it ranks up there with conclusions like, as you said, like Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Dark Knight Rises. Maybe even Return of the King, Apes Trilogy, everything like that.
It's just... Yeah. It's one of the best superhero movies of all time.
Yeah. And it's not... The ending is not... It's just not even the fact that it ends in such a well-written way. It's also very adult and mature. It ends, and I don't know what it is. It's like thinking of the end of like, damn it, I can't say it anyway without sounding stupid.
No. There's a couple really big things in this movie that remind me of other movies, but done better. And I can't say anything about that without spoiling anything. But that's the simplest way to put some of these big moments. It's like, this will change cinema.
Oh, Jesus.
DC
is probably like, oh, oh God.
Some of this stuff has never happened before.
Yeah. No, he's being serious. Some of it is just, oh God.
And I don't see how anyone can not enjoy this movie.
I can't either. I can't.
Unless you just haven't seen any MCU movies and you watch it for some reason.
And you're like,
you don't know what's happening.
It's just stupid because
because
it's a lot of action and dude, if you like a film to a certain degree and you've been with these movies, or even if you haven't, it's way too well done. It's way too well written. Like, the script is too good for you to absolutely hate it. So for the people on Rotten Tomatoes who gave it a negative score, Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah, and not bashing anyone's opinion, but the thing is, I mean, this is like one of the longest running franchises that has been this good. Like 22 movies, and almost every single one is so good. At the age we are right now, this is the perfect teenage age to watch this movie, to appreciate everything.
I guess so, yeah.
If I saw some like little kids cheering, and I was like, if I was them, I'd be so amazed, but I wouldn't be able to appreciate so much of this maturity that they like incorporate into this.
Yeah. So even stuff like score callbacks.
Yeah.
Like if you listen to the Infinity War score, if you listen to the first Avengers score, like I heard so many things where I was like, man, I know what you were doing there, because like they play a bunch of the songs that you've heard before, and it's like besides the Avengers theme, which plays 50 million times, but I don't care, I never get tired of that.
If you think any of the other MCU movies have an epic moment, this is epic. This is the definition of epic. You thought the Civil War airport scene was good? That's nothing compared to what happens in this movie in terms of how impressive it is.
I mean, okay, so I think the thing that I take away from this entire franchise, this entire thing, is I'm thinking, why did the audience clap so hard, and why the people next to me were sobbing so loud? They were crying so much. They were yelling and like cursing at the top of their lungs. I'm like, why is that? It's because this movie and the past few movies, they excel in something that I think is the most important thing that you have to do in a movie. I'm pretty sure you understand this. Is that it's all to do with character. It's all to do with the stuff they've built up with these characters. And I'm sure you know this. You're going, yeah. But it's so apparent when you watch the movie. There's one scene where the characters are just like in a room together. And I was just like, all these people have such crazy histories together. I could pick two of them and be like, those two people have done something together in this franchise. It's insane. 22 movies is all it took to be like, you can take any of these two characters and those two characters will have a crazy moment that they shared in the past. Like, I kept...
Well, not all of them, but most of them.
Well, I'm just saying,
yeah.
You know what I mean.
Just what really matters.
What really matters. And, I found myself getting lost in my own thoughts a few times in this movie just because I was thinking about that. I was thinking about a pair of characters or a trio or something like that. I'm just like, I was thinking about that and I was like, wait, focus, because there's going to be a million more moments like that right in front of you. So I think that's my takeaway for this entire thing.
In terms of negatives, I don't have any, but I can see there's things I could see.
Yeah, alright.
And I'm going to just be a defense mechanism for all of those negatives that people have.
Alright.
Pacing. It worked great.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
Because people say there's slow moments. That's what I wanted.
With the first act.
They need character building, even though they've fleshed out these characters throughout all these 22 movies, or all 21 before the conclusion. The conclusion needs to have the character building before the conclusion to be satisfied. And you need to have, like, all these slow burn kind of scenes. Otherwise, the payoff doesn't work as well.
Yeah, okay, that's a really good way of explaining it, actually. People say, I think a lot of people are like, the first act is slow, and that's bad. The first act, to be completely honest, is my favorite part of the movie. I'll just say that it's my favorite part of the entire movie, just because I love those character moments, man. There's too much goodness in that first act. There's too much exciting stuff. Even though it's slow, I was still, like, wanting to clap every 2 seconds, man.
Yeah, and, well, I thought the third act was the best, which is what most people thought, just because, like, it's, like, the end where everything goes down. But I really respect you liking the first act the best, just because we needed those slow moments. And just the fact that it was like slow, and then it was just building slowly and slowly and getting more and more and more like intense, it made it flow better than Infinity War did. And that's because Infinity War didn't do that as much, just to me. The Infinity War was more like, it had its moments that it like slowed down, and then it had its moments, and then it like was really kind of, and then in like the Wakanda battle went on too long and stuff like that. But I mean, I still think Infinity War is a fantastic film, but this movie just flowed so well that I was just, by the end I was like, this is too good. Like,
yeah, I'd say, I said, I think this movie's more polished than Infinity War was, just because I have less problems with it, really. Because even the 3 negatives that I have, only one of them I care about.
So what are your 3 negatives?
One is, this one I don't expect anybody to understand. One is that it kind of, I feel like it rehashed a few things, and it lessened the impact of stuff that happened in Infinity War, but, you know, I'm not even going to go into that. It's just something that bothered me a little bit in my brain. Second, something is done with a character that I couldn't get behind. It was, they treated a character as a joke, and you know, it's like, there was stuff done with the character, of course, that was earned and needed, and, you know, it was amazing, but I think if they hadn't done that with this certain character, I wouldn't have, you know, went in my head a few times, just because I couldn't shake it. I think I'm never gonna get used to that. I don't think anyway. If I watch the Blu-ray again and it really doesn't bother me, that'll be weird. Just because, I don't know, man. It's just, I thought it was such a poor way of treating this character in the last movie. But, you know what? I ain't no screenwriter, so. And then my third problem is that a few things seem too convenient. So, the major point of this movie revolves around a certain concept, and I feel like it was too easy for the characters to get to these points with this huge concept of, you know, I won't say what it is, I'm just saying, like, when you watch it, I feel like certain things were just it seemed too simple. There seemed to be a little amount of time between the next big revelation and whatnot, so there's all my negatives, that's it.
But they don't like really bring the movie down that much, do they?
Oh, well, okay, just that one thing. Just that one thing, because I'm like, when I'm thinking of the Avengers, I'm like, this is the best they've ever been.
Yeah.
I'm like, but that one character is not as good, and I can't let that go.
But overall, Avengers Endgame is everything we wanted and more that we didn't know we needed, and it's something that's truly special that really changes filmmakers' viewpoints of what they can actually incorporate into their movies and the things that a filmmaker can actually accomplish. It's really something that I think a lot of movie makers will look back upon if they're like really ambitious. And I think that this movie is a great story in terms of its characters and everything, and I think that this movie is a perfect culmination of everything, and I think that this movie is a very great and satisfying conclusion to this Infinity Saga, and I think that it deserves awards. And if you don't see this movie, I'll be disappointed in you. Avengers Endgame is most definitely a masterpiece, and I'm going to give it an A+.
I'd say Avengers Endgame is absolute garbage. And if that garbage was painted in gold and then dipped in the bath of a god,
What?
Avengers Endgame is mind-blowing, and I'm gonna give it an A+.
Yeah. So yeah, go see this movie, and if you don't see this movie, then I will call up Tony Stark and be like, craft a Thanos to kill everyone. No, I'm just kidding. But go see this. Everyone on the planet is gonna go see this. So tell me, are you gonna go see this movie?
You're not. You gotta go see. You gotta go see Missing Link.
Yeah.
Missing Link is probably a good movie. You should go see it at some point.
But you know, thank you guys so much for watching another joint review we did. We just reviewed the biggest movie of the decade. Thanks for joining me on this. Thanks for always joining me in like a lot of reviews. You know,
you're very welcome, sir.
4 years ago in 2016 when we reviewed Doctor Strange. See, that was a long time ago when the MCU quality we didn't know it was gonna be this good.
No, like I really didn't.
We were reviewing Doctor Strange like, ooh, Doctor Strange came to make a bargain, but you know Dormammu was crap. Anyway, so thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share. I would really appreciate it if you did. I truly appreciate the support, and as always, have a great day and peace out.
Yo.